Every journey starts with a belief, a voice in your head that cannot be silenced. This journey requires an unshakable focus, a pursuit of the impossible. It doesn't matter if you're a kid from Akron, Italy, or Salt Lake. If you want it bad enough, that voice is never quiet. If you want it bad enough, that pursuit is never questioned. The focus never shifts, not in this city.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. One slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life, look.
In this city, we have all eyes on the finish line. We look impossible in the eye, and then take that shot anyways. We leave comfort behind for the possibility of greatness. Welcome to Los Angeles, the city of angels, the city of dreams, the city of hustle. This is what we've done. This is who we are. And it's just the beginning. So here's to our last 60 years in LA. And here's to our next 60. Get ready, 'cause it's showtime.
Welcome back to the first episode of Lakeshow's finest of the 2019 to 2020 season. I'm Charles Ryan, your host, or Kobe24MP3, Chuck, KB24 status, whatever you want to call me. This podcast / YouTube video should be up on iTunes. If not, I'm going to fix that. But, probably gonna have to get it here first. So last night was kind of a little bit of a bummer. A couple of highlights. Don't want to overreact to the first game, obviously, but there was definitely some players that I have quite a gripe with. But I take it with a grain of salt because it's just the first game again. But the Lakers lost, obviously, 112, 102. To the Clippers, and the first thing that stuck out to me was the second half between LeBron and AD. I think they only had 11 points in the second half combined. I don't know how that's even possible. That's 3 points, less than 3 points a quarter for each guy. I don't understand where the aggression went. It was very clear LeBron kept deferring to perimeter shooters in the fourth quarter. When we shot decent from three, we were 13 for 33, which is almost 40%. That's not too bad. But when you're deferring to like Jared Dudley and Avery Bradley and Troy Daniels way too much, let's just get into the normal offense of basic post-ups and basic, LeBron drive, whatever. I'm just the point was the aggression was gone, and that can never happen again. Never. Period. Even when Kuz is back and Rondo's back and Kuz will take the load off LeBron and AD, I don't know what happened. I don't know if balls dropped off, but I just couldn't believe it. But nevertheless, AD had a great game, and, this is just scratching the surface. I mean, obviously, first game playing in like 8-9 months because the Pelicans benched him, but 25 points on 8 for 21 shooting. It's mediocre. But the killer was he missed 5 free throws. He was 9 for 14. But he had 10 rebounds, 5 assists, only 3 turnovers, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. I have Anthony Davis in my fantasy. I was very lucky to get a top 3 pick for him. And this is just like the bottom of what he's going to be this season, because you can tell like he's kind of getting his legs under him for the 3-pointers, even though he shot 2. But yeah, LeBron was 7 for 19, 36%. I can't remember the last time he went 7 for 19 or shot 36% with the Lakers. It definitely didn't happen often, but he was 1 for 5 on 3, which is that's atypical. But 9 rebounds, 8 assists, so he filled the stat sheet 18, 9, and 8, but he just wasn't aggressive, and the 5 turnovers were killer, 1 steal, 1 block, but the real guy and if you watched, it was obvious, was Danny Green, man. 28 points. 7 for 9 from 3. 10 for 14 overall. Like, he was kicking ass. And you could tell the way he was moving off picks. He didn't look like he was 32, 33 years old. He was getting shots, and he was hitting some faders. Like, it wasn't just straight up spot up sometimes. He was hitting some tough shots. He got that really nice 4-point play. That was great. But if he can get, like, 15 to 20 points per game, because, like, real talk, this might be the most points he ever scores in this game this season. Because when Rondo comes back and Kuz comes back, he's not going to be getting 30 points. But I thought it was awesome. And once again, I have Danny Green in my fantasy. And I've been trying to trade him the past week and a half. Because I really thought there's no way he's going to get big numbers scoring. And that's all he does, right? I mean, he did have 7 rebounds, which was awesome. But, he had 0 assists. So he's not that productive there. But, Danny Green had, like, the highest plus minus at 7. But I just loved it. Super productive. 32 minutes, 28 points. It's a point a minute almost. But the real guy I got to talk to, the real guy I'm really upset with is KCP. And this has been a theme the past year of him just doing whatever the fuck he wants. Can play no defense on Kawhi. Kawhi is like 3 inches on him, but it feels like it's like 5 inches somehow. I mean, I don't understand putting KCP on Kawhi very often. I get Danny Green on Kawhi because, they were teammates. They practiced a lot against each other. But KCP, man, 0 points in 27 minutes. 0 for 3. How do you shoot 3 shots in 27 minutes? 0 for 2 on threes. Only 3 rebounds. 3 assists. 1 turnover. You play 27 minutes and all you have is 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Come on now. But this is the real thing. He had 5 fouls. 5 fouls. No defense. 0 points, 5 fouls. Super productive this game. And again, it's the first game, but the Lakers should have won this game. I mean, the Clippers really showed off their depth. And, I kind of forgot about Mo Harkless. And I've said this before. I saw Mo Harkless play in high school, and I did not expect him to be this good with the Blazers. And he's like the 7th, 8th guy on this team. That's a solid 7th, 8th guy, because our 7th, 8th guy is like Troy Daniels. But obviously we're top heavy. I think we're top heavy more than the Clippers because we're not injury prone like them. But I just, KCP pissed me off. Dwight, you could kind of tell with Dwight, like, he whenever he got the ball up top, he just kept handing it off back and forth to a 3-point shooter rounding, cutting around him like Danny or Avery. Dwight had no knack to even go towards the basket at all when he got it on the free throw line extended. But yeah, he played 19 minutes, had 3 points, only 6 rebounds, but he had 4 fouls. Like, he fouled a lot. The refs are kind of calling him close this game, but I think Quinn Cook kind of played too much. He played 16 minutes, had 4 points, 2 for 7 shooting, 0 for 3 on 3, which is kind of crazy because Quinn Cook shot like 40% last year from 3. Like, he was pretty solid. So, I mean, there's there's definitely issues, and you can say, well, they're injured. But that was all we were saying last year. Well, they're injured. Well, Rondo broke his hand twice last year. LeBron was out 30 games last year. Lonzo got injured. Brandon had a blood clot in his chest or lung or whatever. Like, injuries are part of it, but it's really tough when all you have at point guard is LeBron and Quinn Cook. I don't understand why Alex Caruso got a DNP CD. Does Vogel not trust him? I mean, even put Caruso in for like 5 minutes, see what happens. Quinn Cook should not be getting 16 minutes a game when he's not being productive at all. He had 0 assists. I'm sorry, he had 2 assists and 1 rebound. He was not doing anything, really. But yeah, they kind of got stagnant a little bit. Not a lot of movement. It was just kind of like 2-man between LeBron and AD, and then LeBron, like, most of his turnovers is just trying to feed it to AD in the post, over the lob pass. But, there's not too much to say about this game because they play the Jazz on Friday, and that is going to be a challenging game because the Jazz play better defense than the Clippers, arguably. So Rudy Gobert is not going to give up a lot. Should be interesting to see if Rondo or Avery Bradley can fucking guard Mike Conley. But overall, it's kind of a weird game. Super cool atmosphere. In the beginning, in the first quarter, it kind of felt like a playoff game when the Lakers went up big, and then there was a comeback there. But I think Vogel needs to distribute his minutes more productively, if that makes sense. He played 10 guys, and Jared Dudley shouldn't be getting 13 minutes. Quinn Cook should be getting 16 minutes. Troy Daniels should not be getting 16 minutes. And that won't happen once again when players come back. But really the guy is KCP, and I think they're going to trade him eventually. This team looks like it's kind of... You can't say it's incomplete because the guys aren't back yet, because it isn't Rondo, but I think they're like one player off. If they can get Iguodala, man, oh my God, it'd be great defensively. I mean, your 5 best players are AD, LeBron, Kuz, Danbury, and Iguodala. That's a pretty solid 5 right there. But this is going to be a shorter podcast because there isn't... It's really hard to be critical when, LeBron's not going to be 9 and 8, 5 turnovers, like, ever again. LeBron having, what did he have in the second half? 5 points, 6 points? That's never going to happen again. And LeBron knows it. And, it was very clear they were a little bit antsy, first game. But, you got to be aggressive if you're the best player in the world, LeBron James. And even if you're not the best player in the world, even if Kawhi is still, like... You're a bully down low. I don't get... He wasn't even, facing the rim, LeBron. He was kind of just floating away and settling for 5 threes. AD only shot 2 threes because he knew in the post he could fucking just eat up Montrezl Harrell. Quickly on the Clippers, though. It was very... Lou Williams actually played more minutes. He played 36 than Kawhi at 31. And it was kind of weird because... It seemed like they didn't really know how to play together. I think Doc Rivers even actually acknowledged that. Kawhi had 6 turnovers, but, I don't know if they can figure this out. Because when Paul George comes back, I don't know how Lou Williams is going to get 14 shots up. And if he does, great. But they need to figure out that chemistry. And I think this preseason, this Daryl Morey stuff really interrupted a lot of this progress. The Clippers had to go to Canada and to Hawaii, so that interrupted their chemistry, according to Doc Rivers. But Patrick Patterson, he'll be gone. Paul George will be taking up his minutes. But, Lou Williams on my fantasy, like I said, and he was awesome. 21 points. It was a plus 13, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, only 2 turnovers, 1 steal. Shot 57%. He was awesome. And I had a soft spot for Lou Williams because you remember he used to play for the Lakers, and he's really underrated. He's 6 feet, and he's just underrated. I think he's 35 or 34. He knows how to score, but man, this team, I'm going to, I have Fox Sports West and League Pass, so I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on this team. And I got love for Zubats with his new 3-year contract. But yeah, when I watched the Pelicans game before, and it was kind of scary seeing Josh Hart and Lonzo and B.I. in a different uniform. I kind of got upset. But when, I don't know if you guys saw, but Josh Hart got hurt in the second quarter, and he went to the locker room, and I was like, that's so typical Josh Hart, because remember in the his first season, he in the summer league, he injured his leg or something and missed the whole entire first couple months. But he's been injury prone, and I was like, that's so typical. But Brandon was great. Brandon had 22. B.I. had 22 points. And you just know with this injury, Lonzo's going to have the ball more. And Lonzo outplayed Drew Holiday. Whoever has Drew Holiday in fantasy, I have to be rethinking that, because Alonzo just seemed more dynamic and more aggressive. He wasn't hesitating from three. He made both of his free throws, which is actually a big deal. But the point is, I'm going to keep an eye on these Lakers. I'm especially going to be watching the Knicks because it's hilarious. Julius Randle is the best player on the Knicks. What are the odds? We drafted so well. The Celtics, they drafted awful. Taco Fall. Who else? All these other players. That guy from Duke was awful. They don't know how to draft. Kobe kind of sunned these players develop it, and then when they leave, they're just legends. I could see Brandon Ingram making an all-star team. Julius Randle might be an all-star this year, should the Knicks not be terrible. But I'm going to be watching these Lakers players, and it's really fun because, Brandon was my adopted nephew. I love that kid. So, the season seems to be off to a good first day. Tonight should be fun. I think there's 11 games. I don't know how I'm going to watch all of them. I don't think even if I split screen them, I'm going to watch all of them. But, man, I'm not disappointed with the Lakers. I'm disappointed with certain players and certain decisions. But Friday's a big challenge, and I can't wait. I really can't wait. So, let's get this one on Friday. Once again, I'm your host, Charles Ryan, Chuck, Kobe24 MP3, KB24 status, or yours truly, the biggest Laker fan in the world. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys on Friday or Saturday. See ya. Peace.